Welcome back to my channel and my podcast. In the last pod, we explored how shifting our own perspective can help us better understand and respond to our toddlers' challenging behaviors. Now let's delve deeper into the whys behind these behaviors. Stay tuned. Let's break down the reasons why negative behaviors like biting might occur. There are many, but here are some of the most common. Number one, impulse. Negative behavior, especially biting, you see, is highly impulsive for your toddler. It comes from being overwhelmed, overtired, overstimulated, or feeling highly provoked by a lack of cooperation, usually from a peer or other children their age. It's highly triggered to get results. This isn't supported by a lot of mental processing on your toddler's side, like them sitting and thinking, what should I do? I'm feeling angry. Maybe I should bite them. It's not really that conscious a behavior for a toddler. It's not a thoughtful or thought out response. Limit number 2 is limited language ability. Children need language to express their feelings and their needs. So a child who hasn't fully refined their language will naturally get frustrated easily, perceiving their own limitations and a lack of understanding in their communication. And where words fail them, they will simply resort to crying, to throwing tantrums, to hitting, and yes, even biting. Number 3, attention. When a child lacks proactive, positive attention from primary caregivers, they will inevitably resort to attention getting methods, even if it's negative. Even if it's negative, they're seeking that interaction because negative attention is still attention to a young child, especially to a toddler. Number 4, cause and effect. Toddlers quickly realize the reaction derived from their negative behaviors. From our facial expressions to exclamations or outbursts and our body movements. And they will want to test these reactions from people each time. However, I must emphasize that biting in particular happens mostly at the peak of frustration and not just because they want to poke you for fun. The outcome of that reaction stemming from frustration is that they get to see reactions from people responding to their negative behavior, but it is purely triggered by frustrating moments. Number 5, frustration itself. An overwhelming situation, an overstimulating environment, or even just interactions with peers will trigger overwhelming feelings in a child. The thought process, if you could call it that, might be something like, hey, I'm out of control, so I'm going to bite. Then number 6, hunger and fatigue. And we tend to underestimate this. It's a big one, but it's often overlooked. Overtiredness, hunger, and even general nerves are all determining factors of a toddler's tolerance levels. A hungry, tired toddler is a short-fused toddler, parents. Number 7, supervision or the lack of it. A lack of adequate supervision will leave your toddler to his or her own devices, and it will leave them to their lack of self control and their inability to interact or to intercept oncoming frustration in social situations. They need our guiding presence. Number 7, supervision or a lack of it. So, a lack of adequate supervision will leave your toddler to his or her own devices, to their lack of self control and their inability to intercept oncoming frustration in social situations. They need our guiding presence during these difficult periods. Stay with me, because in the next segment, we'll discuss how to respond to these behaviors calmly and effectively while fostering a supportive and understanding environment. So, with all that understanding, how do we actually support our toddler through this challenging period in development? This is where the rubber meets the road, isn't it? The first thing I insist on doing when I work with parents is to take the default mode of being what I call unmasked. To be unmasked means to not lose your composure. And yes, unmasked. To mask something is the word, M-U-S-K. So to be unmasked. And during these very trying times for you and very difficult times for your toddler, you must not lose your composure, and you must not succumb to the disconcerting pressures of a toddler's negative behavior. I suggest that you refrain from using dramatic facial expressions and sudden reactive body movements. So try to keep an unchanging, calm look. This works especially when you are the direct object of their frustration or venting. If your child hits or worse bites you, you must remain composed. Yeah. No sudden movements. No dramatic facial expressions, parents. And while you remain composed, communicate by acknowledging your toddler's feelings, but immediately disapprove of the continuation of the behavior. So you might say with a calm voice, "You are having a hard time not hitting, so I'll help you by holding your hands." Or you might say, "I won't let you hit. You're so upset because I had to put my phone away, I know." And parents, this is because you would have already set a limitation earlier, previously, that they can't, for example, play with your phone. And at this point, you must follow through with your previously laid out limitation. But you must also acknowledge that this particular limitation frustrates your child. And you must show them that you understand that it frustrates them, even while the limitation is in motion. You want to clearly show your child that they cannot hit you under no uncertain terms. It's non-negotiable, because there are boundaries. You cannot hit just because you're unhappy with the situation or that you're frustrated. You will see these things normally that will be our top priority. And you might also say to them, "I wouldn't let you bite me. That hurts." Once again, I've thoroughly enjoyed myself throwing light on why a toddler is biting. And I do hope that, armed with knowledge and understanding of the 7 reasons I outlined earlier, you can now calmly support your child to the triggering reasons by being present, maintaining composure, and adapting to being and remaining unmasked throughout the height of frustration. The key word here, parents, is to be unmasked. Unmasked. The key word here, parents, is unmasked. Remember, remain unmasked. With that being said, I'll close with this second part of the conversation around the topic on negative toddler behavior, specifically biting. I do hope it's been quite insightful. Stay with me. In part 3, which will be my next post, I'll share practical interventions for biting attempts, shed some light on adapting calm intervention in social settings, along with some calm down strategies for your toddler. And finally, I'll address parental anxiety about judgment from other adults relating to you choosing this mindful and more respectful and peaceful way in approaching your toddler's biting. My name is Soraya Cofie, and thank you for listening. You may find me across all social pages, especially on Instagram and on TikTok and on Facebook and on X, under my handle at A Mindful Method with Soraya. Follow and turn on notifications for my channel on Spotify and YouTube to be the first among other community members to receive updates on new topics that I will be discussing here. You can also follow my conversations at my hashtags, hashtag A Mindful Method with Soraya and hashtag Montessori Mindful Approach. Remember to like, share with other parents of toddlers, especially ones you know who might be struggling with biting or other challenging behaviors. And do comment, as I would love to hear from you. Thank you and stay mindful.